right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Motor City Uncut, episode 148, presented by New Major Sports Network Detroit. I'm your host, joined this week by just Adam Hernandez, our Adam Hernandez Esquire, our our founder and boss man here, and then Shawn is he's not here.
Apparently, there's a flood in his parents' house.
He's not in Houston, Florida.
I very much doubt that he is. What is that? Is that my phone? Is it mine?
I don't know.
I don't think it's...
I moved my way over there. Mine's usually not on the table.
Oh,
That's
really?
What it is. Yeah, let me put it over here.
Yeah, whatever. I think we're okay now.
I can still hear it a little, but whatever. All right.
There we go.
Okay, cool. Lions won their opener today.
35-23.
They played a shit show of a first half, and back.
Yeah, it was definitely the tale of two different halves there for the Lions. Nothing really looked good. I mean, the defense looked pretty good the entire game.
No, you had your first-year punter drop the ball in the end zone and tried to play hero ball when he still could have kicked it, and then got hurt on the play.
You had Dwayne Washington running out a kickoff return when he had no business doing so. I loved what World of Isaac said on Twitter, that Dwayne Washington got a 3 on the Wonderlick with that play. You had Jake Rudock, who had to fill in
as a holder.
Fumble
his first chance.
Yep, fumbled on that
he botched the hold.
He botched the hold on the extra point after what Stafford connected with Marvin Jones. It wasn't good early on. I mean, the offense looked completely out of sync. Matthew Stafford obviously threw that pick 6, although I'm not going to completely blame that on Stafford. I'm not going to blame it on Golden Tate either. I thought that the Arizona Cardinals made a good play.
Excellent defensive play.
Yeah, excellent defensive play to take Golden Tate out of the off of the route. And I mean, look, I understand. Football is a quick game. It's a fast game, and if something doesn't go perfectly right, especially when you're trying to connect with a guy in the slot like Stafford was trying to do, the smallest hiccup could mean a first down or a pick 6. Unfortunately, on this end of it, it was a pick 6. Other than that, I thought Stafford managed to turn things around, and he looked, I thought, pretty good in the second half. The offense seemed to settle in nicely, and put some points on the board. Aside from that, the defense was excellent.
Excellent again. I mean, the first half, you had a garbage time score when you were up 3 scores, so it really didn't matter at the end of the game.
Yep.
And a pick 6.
Mm-hmm.
They give up one semi-legitimate touchdown.
Yeah, and keep
in the third quarter.
Yeah, and keep in mind,
it was a 12.94-yard drive. I mean, that's a legitimate touchdown that's driving the length of the field. So you essentially gave up one, because the one didn't matter because you were more concerned about more time running off the clock, and the second one was a defensive score. So can't really be upset.
David Johnson, though, they
held him down.
They held him, and he got injured too. I mean, he exited the game with 11 attempts, 23 yards on the ground. I mean, his longest
he also had 6 receptions for 60-something or other. But
yeah, but I mean, his longest game.
He also fumbled. He forced 2 fumbles.
Yeah,
lost one of them.
Yeah, I thought that they, and what, the Lions. This is something with the Lions. It seems like they've always done really well when it came to holding good running backs in check.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that they've always been able to do. I thought the defensive line looked really, really good in doing that. I thought the linebackers looked good.
You had Carson Palmer to 27 of 48, so just over 50%. 269 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 picks.
3 picks. And
you know what? 55 or 60 of those, 269 yards were on that last drive when it didn't matter.
Yeah. I thought the Lions, they made a nice adjustment at halftime. I'll give this one to Jim Caldwell, too, because that was one of the things that Jim Caldwell never seemed to do. It seemed like the Lions have never been able to make that second half adjustment and, and do what they needed to do, whether it was
in bottom line, you scored 20 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a rally.
Absolutely. I thought that, like I said, defense was good the entire game. They did take way too many penalties. What was it? All I know is they had
10 for 100.
10 for 100. That's too much. You're gonna find yourself in a lot of trouble going forward with that one if you're going to continue to take 100 yards or more. I mean, they shouldn't even be coming close to that.
And another very bright spot,
yeah.
Jamal Agnew on punt return. Averaged 16 yards of return on 3 times.
Which was funny because the depth chart heading into week 1
is going to return punts.
Was Golden Tate, returning punts for them.
You know what? Here's the thing. Guess who fills out those depth charts that you find on the websites?
What's that?
The media relations team, the PR guys. So they'll put whatever they want.
That's fine. I don't want to see Golden Tate returning punts. I think that's a bad idea.
I don't mind having Golden Tate out there to fair catch the ball.
No, neither do I. I don't care about that either. But I mean,
I'll have my rookie 6th corner out there. I'm totally cool with that. If he gets hurt, whatever. Doesn't matter. I don't need him to play defense anyway.
Nope. But, again, though, as far as that first quarter goes, I don't want to be too pessimistic about this game at all because I thought the Lions, like I said, played a really good second half. It's just, we've seen this with this team before, though, Dorf. We've seen them kind of come out of the gate in games slow, lethargic, sloppy, undisciplined.
Way too overly conservative.
Yeah, and that's just something that cannot happen going forward. I want to see this team come out of the gate, guns blazing, creative.
Scoring your first fucking drive.
Yeah, scoring once. on the first drive. Limit the turnovers. And again, I know it's only the first game, but that's something that has to change. It's not like the Lions have never done this before or haven't been a culprit of starting slow before. And I don't want to put. I know Matthew Stafford can bring this team back in the fourth quarter. I know that, but I don't want to have to rely on that every single week.
Let's start with a lead.
Yeah, let's start with a lead. Let's
cruise.
Yeah, let's try to play 4 complete quarters instead of 2 quarters or 1 quarter or no quarters for that matter. I want to see complete games from the Lions this season. Even if they lose, even if they happen to lose those games, that's fine with me. If they lost this game, though, by a field goal or a point or whatever, I would have had a huge problem with that because the entire first half for them was just utter garbage. Utter garbage. We didn't see anything from the offense.
They did finish the first half strong. Prater with the walk-off field goal.
Yeah, they did.
First half,
they
58
did.
yards.
Yes, that was good. But you know what? That's something that we expect already, though, from Matt Prater. We expect them to get at midfield and
we're in range.
Yep, and be able to put Matt Prater out there to blast it through the upwards.
40, yeah, we're at the 40 and in.
Yeah, that's something that we see from Matt Prater all the time. I want to see them. Start strong. I want to see a strong defense from the get-go, which is what we saw today. I don't want to see. And again, a lot of games are also won on your special teams. The special teams didn't do them any favors today with, obviously...
Casey Redford shit in the bed.
Running out of the end zone when he bobbled it. He could have Aussie kicked it out of there. He didn't do that. Just not very good field position coming off of a punt.
And here's to the defense's credit there on that, after the Redfern, let's call it mistake, kerfuffle, disaster, whatever... They held the Cardinals to 7 yards on 7 plays and a field goal.
Not only that, too, Dorf. Another fuck up on the special teams that the defense had to make up for was, what was it? I believe it was. Shit, I can't exactly what the prior play was, but the defense had a short field to work with. And this was in the first half. They held them to a field goal, but when they first held them to a field goal, they had that unsportsmanlike. I forgot who jumped over the line. I can't remember if it was Zettel or what. It may have been Zettel.
No.
That jumped over the line. They called him for an unsportsmanlike.
Like they're supposed to. That's a new rule.
Which it sucks. I think it's kind of a shitty call or a shitty rule. Excuse me. But these players know the rules. That's beyond the point. But I mean, they ended up holding him again. They ended up holding him to another field goal.
Yep.
And I thought that
which they missed, by the way.
Yes, exactly, which they did miss. And again, this isn't an Arizona Cardinals team that is, that just isn't good. I mean, Carson Palmer's a decent quarterback in this league.
The Cardinals team's going to be all right.
Yeah,
they're somewhere between a 7 and 9-1 football team.
And from there, you would expect Carson Palmer to maybe hook up with David Johnson and get 6 points on the board. Yeah. It didn't happen. The defense did a good job holding them down, and they went from there. The defense was able to hold this team into the game long enough for the offense to get their act together.
Yeah.
And do something finally in the second half. What this means going forward, who they play next week?
Quite honestly, I don't know.
Yeah, who was it again? I know we made our predictions a couple weeks ago. Did you have them losing, though? Week 1?
I don't remember.
You don't remember? Yeah.
It was 2 weeks ago we did those, man.
Well, I remember I had them winning. Who do they play next week?
Well, you actually predicted the worst record out of all of them. I had them at 10-6.
No, I didn't. I predicted the best record. Sean predicted the worst record.
Oh, that's right. Sean has them going. Sean, in the comments beforehand, was like, "Oh yeah, this team's gonna be pretty good," and he has them only winning 6 games. We both. I think you had 11-5, and I was 10-6. If I remember correctly. Yeah, which means we probably have them winning. We probably both have them winning here.
Giants next week, Monday night.
Did OBJ play today? I missed that.
Have the Giants played yet today?
Oh, no, they're on Sunday night.
Yeah, they play tonight against Dallas. Right? Yep. Which I don't know. I don't know if he is or not.
Reportedly game time decision, which means 90 minutes before first kick decision.
Yes.
So,
I don't know. I thought they made some nice adjustments.
Speaking of guys not in my fantasy lineup, God damn it, Jonathan Stewart's going to score again, and I didn't play him today.
Oh, who cares?
I do. He's about to score his 3rd touchdown in the last 15 minutes.
Anyways, I don't know. The Lions, like I said, looked good in the second half. Got to get things turned around in the first, though.
Yeah.
Can't come out looking like that every single week. So, you're going to lose games.
Matt, got to get over calling him that. Matt Stafford, 29 of 41, so very respectable. 29 completions, only 12 balls hit the ground. That's really good. 292 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a pick. Spread the ball out. They had 7 different receivers catch a ball. Kenny Galladay, 2 touchdowns on his rookie debut.
Like I said Kenny Galladay was gonna turn some heads, and he has. He made that one really, really nice diving catch. I believe that was his 2nd touchdown. Mm-hmm. And again, he was making some of those in the preseason. I know he disappeared for a little bit, but
at the same time, this could be. I'm gonna say 40 chess. They figured out what they had in him, and they just kind of hide him, and we're in it so we can bank him for the regular season, so people know what's coming.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Can't make this stuff up, folks.
No, I liked what he did. He's obviously been doing that stuff. He did some of that stuff in the preseason. Nice big target, though. That's something that they missed somewhat when Calvin Johnson hung him up. And I'm not saying that Kenny Galladay is going to be Calvin Johnson for them,
but you are. Start the hype train. Woo,
woo! But if he could go out there, if he could be a nice big target. Another nice big target for Matthew Stafford. You can never have too many of those, even if it's Eric Ebron or Kenny Galladay.
Yeah, Eric Ebron didn't practice essentially all preseason, 2 catches, 9 yards. Whatever.
He's not hurting you.
Yep.
He's not hurting you, so...
No other tight end, I believe, had a target today. So
yeah, whatever. As long as Eric Ebron doesn't hurt the team. I really don't care. I mean, they have enough guys out there that can go and make a catch. Whether it's Golden Tate, Marvin Jones, Kenny Galladay.
Jones only did have 2 catches today for 37, but one of them was for a score.
Yep, one of them was for a touchdown.
The other, I'll tell you what, Theoretic, his touchdown reception, that just absolute stop and change of direction on a dime, that was magical.
No, Theoretic's a good player.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Going to be a good player. Good at what he does.
Yes.
He's very good at what he does.
Yes.
Which is, is a very valuable addition to any team.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
One thing, because I know they're probably going to have to go out and sign a punter. I mean, we have no idea when Sam Martin's coming back, right?
I believe he was put on if it's a non-football injury list, I'm pretty sure he can be active at any time. But if it was the physically unable to perform, he's going to miss his first 6. and I don't know what's the answer as to which list he's on.
Because they need him. They need him like no other right now.
Let me try and figure that. So it's non-football injury list. I don't know what the NFI. So I'm not sure what the NFI list. Injuries preseason. Okay, well, it doesn't help.
Can't find it.
Yeah, both designations made. Okay, so he can't play till week 6. After week 6.
Okay. Well, they've got to find.
Got to find another punter.
They got to find another punter.
There's a couple guys that were surprise cuts in camp that have been pretty decent punters in the NFL that are looking for work. So
yeah,
they'll have somebody. They're not going to be sending the punting equivalent of Kicklicious.
No.
Speaking of which, a guy that the Lions actually had in camp as a kicking alternative to Jason Hansen 6 years ago made a team this year.
Oh yeah,
Giorgio Telvecchio made the. He's now the kicker in Oakland as Janikowski's on the injured reserve.
Oh, good for him.
So
good for him.
He's actually been in camp with the Raiders for the last 4 years and finally made a team.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah. Anyway, you want to do? Also, Jared Davis in his debut on the Lions and tackles with 9. Also scooped up a fumble.
Good stuff.
Any areas of concern? I've got 2.
Yeah, with me, well, it's gonna be the special teams. Special teams need to do better, and the other one for me is going to be both penalties.
Okay, I've got 2 totally separate ones.
Go ahead.
Mine is going to be pass rush. Only 1 sack on the day. That's Anthony Zettel.
Okay.
It seemed like I was listening to it because I spent most of my day on the golf course. I don't know if anybody can see it. I'm quite sunburned. Was day golfing with my dad this morning. Missed the first half of the game. Only 1 sack. It did seem like on the radio and on the way home that Dan Miller was saying Carson Palmer hit as he throws like every fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not good enough considering only 1 gets recorded as a sack. Love to see the hurry stats. I don't have that in front of me to kind of see if that was just it works the way it works. But they did cause 4 turnovers. So you know what? That's if you're not going to get to the quarterback, at least make him turn the ball over, which is totally fine there. Mm-hmm. Second is your running backs combined for a whopping 52 yards on the ground. 52 yards on 21 carries. Not good enough.
No, absolutely
not good enough, especially with that investment you've had up front. And quite honestly, you might actually be better at run blocking with this group currently. I quite honestly, Greg Robinson is probably a better run blocker than Taylor Decker.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, you've had 2 upgrades on the right side. You should be better than this.
Absolutely.
So now, at the same time, they were trailing. And by the time it was kind of back to even, they were just shredding them with a pass. There's no reason to run the ball anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to watch it a little bit more in depth. I do have it recorded at home. I plan on watching it when I get home. But
still, though, you want to see you want to see more from the running backs.
Yeah, I want more. Abdullah 15 for 30, Washington 6 for 22. Although I think 3 of those carries were the very end of the game when they were trying to ice it. And Theoretic 1 for -1. Zach Zenner didn't dress today, correct? Is he inactive?
I don't know. I can't remember if he was or not. I didn't see him at all, really, though.
Yes, Zenner was inactive today.
Okay.
Jalen Tabor, 2nd-round pick, inactive. Not a surprise there. A couple offensive linemen, 3 offensive linemen actually inactive, and also running back Tion Green and Jared Everdaris. Everybody in defense is active today.
All right.
Except Tabor. So, all right. You got anything else?
Nope, that's it.
All right. Now time for us to cry on air. First time we've been on air since the end of an era. Justin Verlander was traded, as I'm sure if you guys are into enough that you're watching a pretty down the depth chart, let's call it podcast, like what we run here, you know that Justin Verlander was traded.
Mm-hmm.
Back on the 31st of last month, so it was 10, 11 days ago, last day before the waiver trade deadline, to the Astros for 3 prospects. Very, very, very solid return. But you know what? We'd love to fashion ourselves as, kind of thinking a little bit more rationally and more of the eyes of like a football personnel or a personnel person instead of a fan here at the Majors Sports Network. But this one still sucks. It hurts.
It does. I always look. I Justin Verlander. I mean, it seems like
there's only like one really thing you could bitch about him for his entire career.
Playoffs, World Series.
He was outside of
World
that
Series.
one. You know what? They made it to the playoffs like 5 times in his career.
Something like that.
He had one bad.
Yeah.
The other 4 were great.
Yeah. What's your complaint then?
He bitched about the fans not cheering like 2 times.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's it.
I don't remember that one, but
yeah, no. He in post game comments, complained. Oh, I wish we wouldn't get booed or something to that effect. That's not an exact quote, like twice. And
I don't know. With me with Verlander, I don't know. I mean, there's just something. I mean, the guy's the same age as I am. I saw him from when he first broke in back in 2006. That whole run that season was. It was one of the best. One of the best times. I think.
I remember it's like in 2005 when he made those 2 spot starts.
Yeah,
I remember that.
But his really breaking in 2006. That whole run. I mean, it was quite a special time to be a Tigers fan, given what they went through. Just 3 years prior to that, they had. Just so many faces there to, help bring this team to that next level. Justin Verlander was one of them. He wasn't only a guy that was going to...
the last one from the
2016?
Yeah, re-emerging from the dark ages.
Yeah. Obviously...
At the same time, you don't expect most guys to be around after 12 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's just... that one hurt. I knew it had to be done. I know there's a comment, too, on our Facebook page about, this one. I mean, basically, what did you expect? This is what needed to be done. I understood that. I understood that this is what needed to be done. But that doesn't mean something like this still doesn't hurt. It sucks. It sucks having to see Justin Verlander leave this team without a World Series ring. And this was pretty much the nail in the coffin when it came to the Dombrowski era.
It's over. You don't have anything left.
We have Cabrera. You have
Cabrera. You have the corpse of Miguel Cabrera. Although it looks like he just came back after his
6-game suspension.
6-game suspension, and you're kind of wondering why didn't he get 6 days off or 7 days off in a row already? Because he actually looked like his back didn't hurt.
Yeah,
it's pretty amazing.
Well, it's like you're saying, it's amazing what could happen if you give a guy a little bit of rest. And again, I don't care. I really don't care if Miguel Cabrera doesn't want to sit. I don't.
Tough titties, you're his boss.
Yeah, if you're injured, you're not helping this team. Miguel Cabrera, throughout the majority of this season, hasn't been helping this team. And because of that... And I'm not saying this is squarely on the shoulders of Miguel Cabrera. I mean, there's plenty of blame to go around here. Because Miguel Cabrera, in part, wasn't helping this team earlier on in the year, it's the reason why Justin Verlander isn't here anymore. It's the reason why Justin Upton isn't here anymore, or Alex Avila isn't here anymore, or Justin Wilson isn't here anymore, or JD Martinez isn't here anymore. If Brett Ausmus or whoever could better identify something like this earlier on in the season,
or have the testicular fortitude to be like, "Hey, Miguel, you're not playing today."
Yeah, they would be in a much better spot right now, probably. But that didn't happen. And they kept on trotting and playing Miguel Cabrera when it was Brett Ausmus himself that came out to the media and said, "Oh, you know what? Miguel Cabrera is dealing with a bunch of different injuries." And I'm paraphrasing, but Brett Ausmus did come out and say that.
Yeah, you don't have Jordy Nelson, do you, on your team?
No, my dad does. Why?
He just scored a touchdown.
Did he get a pass to him?
Yes.
Okay, then whatever.
It's a wash because you bet.
Yeah, that's fine.
Sorry. But getting back on topic. You know what? At the same time, this is two straight deadlines that you sold, and you've got a whole fresh, essentially top 20 prospects. They've either been picked at the top of your last two drafts, or they're freshly acquired in the organization. I mean, if you just want to go through the new list, they're now number one kid, and he's a top 40 type guy in the entire world or entire league. Franklin Perez, the headliner of the Verlander deal. Great. Matt Manning was a top 10 pick last year.
Perez has got an arsenal too.
Oh yeah.
With does he have 4 pitches?
Yes.
4 pitches.
Fastball, curve, slider, change. Usually sits about 94. Oh, and he's only 19. He's in Double A already.
Double A, so he should
carving up Double A at 19 years old.
So when's he going to be up? When's your projection?
If he's healthy, we'll might see him this time next year.
This time next year?
If he's healthy.
Okay. So they're going to go. They're going to. Looking at the other side of this, Dorf. It looks a lot brighter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Tigers.
And then you keep going through this.
I mean, Tigers fans are going to have to deal with a lot of shit here the next the next few seasons.
The next guy after that is your first round pick from this year, Faedo. Looks like he might be pretty good.
Yeah.
Your fourth guy is Candelario. He's going to lose prospect status quickly. Bo Burrows, who should be on the team at some point next year. First round pick 3 years ago. Hit on that. Then your number 6 guy, Daz Cameron. Also another acquisition from the Verlander trade. Should be on a big league roster some point next year. If not, maybe the year after. He's only 20. Also he's in low A ball. Low A ball. So 2.5 years away. Christian Stewart should be on a big league roster next year. You have essentially 7 guys in the top 125.
And they're gonna. I mean, that pitching staff's gonna be replenished with good young talent arms here. And very, very shortly.
And at the same time, you now actually have a catcher who's worth the damn in the system. Catching prospect worth the damn in the system. Jake Rogers, the third guy from Houston.
You know what the good thing about that too is obviously with all that pitching that they have now, all that young pitching coming up through the minors. Not everybody's going to make it. I mean, now.
Not.
I mean, what you have now is you have options for potentially bullpen guys, or you have some trade bait there.
Yeah.
To go out and get that extra guy that you need once you're able to put yourself back into contention. Other than that, I mean, the young arms that they have going forward should be very, very nice. I mean, with Fulmer already up here doing what he's doing. Again, Michael Fulmer, this is why I didn't want them to get rid of him, because he's young and controllable and he's really, really good for a while. I think Daniel Norris still... I mean, I'm a believer in Daniel Norris. I think Daniel Norris is going to come around.
Yeah.
You said...
And you know what? He may not... I think you may need to give him the... it's called the Drew Smiley treatment. May need to pitch out of the bullpen next year.
Maybe.
Come in and just dominate people. Daniel, I only need 3 outs from you. Just come out here and blow past people.
And what'd you say earlier in the year, a few weeks ago or a few months ago, was Daniel Norris needs to stop being a pitcher and
start just fucking throwing.
Start throwing.
Stop trying to be too cute and just throw it past people.
Well, I mean, there's only a certain time in your career when you can do that.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with Justin Verlander.
Stop thinking. Throw the ball.
Well, again, that was one of the problems with Justin Verlander for a little while. He
got too cute.
He also wanted to go out there and start and still just blow people away when he really couldn't do that anymore.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he had to learn, to rely on his secondary and in his third pitches, and
pitch differently.
Yeah. Not dial it up, right from the very start of the game, and maybe save some of that juice later on.
Yeah,
which is what he did, and he managed to, still be very, very good right-hander in this league.
Absolutely.
But yeah, as far as Verlander goes, Dorf, he is now among my top 3 of most heartbreaking departures in Detroit sports history.
Yeah, I think I've seen your list.
Not
baseball specific.
Not baseball specific, and not. This doesn't count retirements.
Okay. Well, retirements are retirements.
Retirements are retirements. But for me, it is...
You're going to count even though Barry's premature retirement or...
No, that doesn't count because it's a retirement. No retirements. Because if that was the case, then I would have to add, like Nick Lidstrom in there. I'd have to add Barry and Kelvin. I mean, those all hurt.
Well, Lidstrom was what? He retired when he was 42?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
But he was still
very good. I can't really call that tragic.
No, it's not tragic, but I mean, it was one of those things that, I mean, Nick Lidstrom was arguably the best player in the NHL
for a decade,
for a very long time. He was arguably the best
defenseman without a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, he was awesome, and when he left, he was 42 or whatever. I mean, it still hurt.
Yeah,
it still hurt. It was the end of an era for the Red Wings.
All right. Anyway, sorry. Get to your list. I interrupted you.
Well, I'll do three. I mean, Verlander comes in at number three. Verlander, spectacular player. Like I said, I felt that I had a connection with him earlier on, just because I saw him come into this league, grow with the Tigers, have that success, and then I saw the end. Next one for me was Pudge Rodriguez. And I know people are probably going to say that, oh, well, he wasn't a career Tiger. He didn't, his best years maybe didn't come when he was on the Tigers. They didn't come when they were on the Tigers. They came when he was on the Rangers. Mm-hmm. He was still excellent, though, with the Tigers. I point at Pudge in this sense because I thought Pudge was maybe the catalyst in that Tigers turnaround. Pudge was still a phenomenal player when he signed with the Tigers.
Absolutely, he was not over the hill.
No, he could have went to anywhere. He could have went back to the Rangers. He could have stayed with the Marlins. He could have went to the Yankees. I don't know, maybe at the Yankees. Posada was.
Jorge Posada was still there. I don't think the Yankees would.
Posada was still really good.
Yeah.
He could have went to a lot of places. He decided to come to Detroit.
There was about 28 teams he could have picked from.
Exactly, and make a shit ton of money in the process.
Be the highest paid player at the position.
Yeah, but no, he decided to come to the Tigers. Followed him after that. Maglio followed him after that. A bunch of other good players followed him after that.
Miguel Cabrera acquisition.
Yeah, which was in 2008.
2008, but at the same time, you had legitimate baseball in the Motor City again.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for Pudge, making that commitment, then who knows what would happen with that team? Mm-hmm. Who knows if they go to the World Series in 2006 and have that, that moderate success.
2 World Series in the decade, appearances in the decade. You got to make that clear.
Yeah. Yes, they didn't win a World Series, which I think is a big thing. It's a big thing with me, especially with that team and looking back and seeing what they had, and it's unbelievable. They may go down. I mean, some of those Tiger teams may go down as some of the best put together teams that never won a ring.
Honestly, the best team I think they put together was 2013.
Yeah,
that squad should have been unbeatable.
It should have been. I mean, it's amazing, and if it wasn't for fucking Big Papi.
Fucking goddamn it!
God, fuck him, man.
You being goddamn clutch.
And that fucking police officer.
Woo!
Fuck you, man.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Sorry for blowing everybody's eardrums out there.
Number one, though, was Sergei Fedorov. That one.
No, you whiny. I know.
That hurts. Best Russian player ever. Better than Pavel Datsyuk.
Ovechkin.
Sorry, better than Ovechkin. Ovechkin has more is put out more offensively.
More offensive numbers, but he's not a guy that plays both sides of the ball.
As far as being an all-around player, Sergei Fedorov may be the best that have ever played. That's ever put on a pair of skates and went out on the NHL ice.
Absolutely.
A lot of people say too that Scotty Bowman was the one that originally put Sergei Fedorov on defense. Sergei Fedorov didn't like it, but he was awesome. And people say that if Sergei Fedorov would have stuck on defense, he would have won a Norris Trophy. And I believe it. I believe it. He probably would have eventually won a Norris Trophy, but Sergei Fedorov, best Russian player to ever play. And it sucks because when he left the Red Wings, he ended up leaving for less money than what he was offered
here.
But it carried out.
And that makes it hurt even more. It's not like the organization went cheap on him. They made him the best offer.
No, and I don't hold that against him. Look, he wanted to go out. He wanted to
be his own man.
He wanted to be his own man.
He didn't want to play in Eiserman's shadow anymore.
No, and I respect that. And I don't...
to turn down less money and go to the People's Republic of California where you're handing over 10% extra of your income every year compared to here.
I'm okay with what he wanted to do. It didn't work out for him. I'm sure he would admit that maybe leaving the Red Wings wasn't
a great idea.
Wasn't a great idea.
But
he hasn't actually said that. I mean, don't get me wrong here.
I don't think he ever will.
He probably never will. But I fully believe that if Sergei Fedorov could do it again, he wouldn't leave the Red Wings. But albeit he did, I don't blame him for it. I'm not gonna boo him. Whenever I see him, when he comes back for alumni games or whatever. But it still hurt. It hurt especially too because it seemed like there at the very end. It seemed like, maybe he might end up re-signing with the Red Wings. It's kind of like the Max Scherzer thing. This is very reminiscent of the Max Scherzer thing, except Max Scherzer ended up making more money in the process. But the longer that it carried on with Max Scherzer, you kind of had that feeling that, okay, maybe he's going to re-sign, but he never did.
I mean, that's the one thing that you gotta realize with like Max Scherzer was offered $144 million in the ownership group, powers that be with the Tigers at the time, were insulted when he turned that down because it was, securing his finances for life. And he's, you know what, I think I get more next year in the open market.
Yeah.
And he got $210 million with half of it deferred to when you can move to a income tax-free state.
Mm-hmm.
Can't blame him.
No, you can't at all.
You can't at all. And you know what? He took the appropriate action. He just took out a huge fucking insurance policy as well.
That's what you got to do.
And guess what? It's been nothing but fucking dominant since he left.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the deal: if you re-signed him, you probably have traded him by now.
Probably.
You probably moved him at this deadline.
Yeah.
God, that sucks to think about.
God, imagine what they would have gotten returned from.
7,000 players.
Oh my God, they'd have one of the best. They'd have. I don't know if it'd be quite Atlanta Braves or Chicago White Sox good, but considering.
Oh my! Speaking of great rebuilds,
yeah,
the White Sox. Holy crap! Is their system loaded?
Their system is loaded, but they haven't rebuilt yet. I mean,
the guys aren't here yet.
Well, what I'm saying is that talent needs to transcend in the major leagues.
Yeah, see what their talent development.
Well, and with that said, Dorf, I mean, would you? I hate saying this about the Royals because they did win a World Series, but remember how loaded their system was.
Loaded.
Should they have had more World Series wins than what they did?
No, because their system turned out to really not be that loaded.
Well.
Lorenzo Cain they got from outside the organization.
Okay.
He was part of... He's what you got back for Zach Greinke.
Okay.
Him and Alcides Escobar. That was your compensation for Zach Greinke. Both those guys have been consummate pros until Escobar forgot how to get on base.
Well, I guess my question though, Dorf, is it a disappointment?
Other than that, what I'm saying is, other than that, you're out of that great system. Hosmer and Moustakas. Alex Gordon was before that. Mm-hmm. He's older than that. And you know what? It took Hosmer and Moustakas 3 years of floundering at the big league level to finally figure it out. And guess what? Yeah, they got a World Series, but take their names and just compare their stat lines. They're pretty fucking average players.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say it. They're pretty average players.
Okay, I don't know. I'm like
Mike Moustakas is a left-handed Nick Castellanos. He's just as bad on defense.
Mm-hmm.
He's just as bad at third base. He's just as bad of a base runner. Oh, and he's a guy with about an 800 OPS. He's right-handed Nick Castellanos. Oh, who doesn't walk? He's right-handed Nick Castellanos, who's a very average baseball player.
Speaking of Nick Castellanos, can I say something?
Sure, go ahead. This is the last time we're talking Tigers on the show, so go ahead.
Okay. The thing with Nick, I posted something today. I posted the lineup today for the Tigers. Nick Castellanos is playing right field again. We got a comment back that, don't you realize that Nick Castellanos has been playing there for a few days now, and then he played in the minors? People, this has nothing to do with how many games that Nick Castellanos has played there or how good he might be at that position. First of all, Nick Castellanos is never going to become a great right fielder. Let's just put that on the table.
His ceiling is league average.
Yes, let's put that on the table right now. But this has nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with that. Aaron, who made this comment, This has everything to do with the Tigers taking the wrong approach again with other areas of their roster, namely Miguel Cabrera. Because you know what this means, Aaron? You know what this means? V-Mart. It means they're going to do everything they possibly can to keep V-Mart on this roster if and when he ever steps foot on the baseball field again. Because
they're unwilling to do the right thing, cut the check.
Yes, they're unwilling to cut the check to Victor Martinez to tell him to go away, which means they're going to try to keep Nick Castellanos in the lineup, which they should, but he should be kept in the lineup
at
first base and move Miguel Cabrera over to the DH spot. And that's not happening. And
you know what? You can still get away with Miguel Cabrera as a defensive first baseman maybe twice a week.
Yes.
And that's fine. Castellanos DHs those 2 days. It's great that you both keep fresh. Woo!
But they're not doing that.
They're not doing that.
Which means Dorf and Aaron, and I don't mean to, because I know you agree with it, but this is continuing to take productive years off of Miguel Cabrera.
Oh, let's get 80% of peak offensive production from Miguel Cabrera because we can't, take his ego down a peg.
Let's not adequately preserve one of the best pure hitters.
And it's not just preserve to try and milk the last few good years out of him. Guys, he's under contract for the next 6 seasons.
Yep.
After this year.
Yep.
You don't have a choice. You have to prolong this. You can't afford to run him into the ground. If you have that attitude, that'll happen in 3.
And you know what?
He'll be done in 3 years, and you have to pay him for 3 or 4 more.
And you know what, Dorf? Thank God Dave Dombrowski got rid of Prince Fielder when he did. Obviously, because Prince Fielder ended up,
retiring with a neck injury.
Yes.
Yeah.
But can you imagine if Prince Fielder was still on this team and they still had Miguel?
I don't think you would have never re-signed
Victor Martinez.
No.
Okay, but
you'd still have the same problem. You'd still have to have Miguel Cabrera play defense every day.
Exactly. I don't understand why this team doesn't want to take the necessary steps to bringing together this entire roster for the long term. Because one of the most important pieces, whether there's no saying that they're going to be able to get rid of Miguel Cabrera. There's no saying that they're going to be able to do that.
Because guess what? If he sucks, no one's going to take on 6 years of financial responsibility.
Exactly.
Justin Verlander's at least only 2 more.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and by the way, $16 million went the other way.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, you know what? You got 3 good prospects, and it cost you $16 million.
I'll take it. Other than that, though, I just this team is taking a half-assed approach to their roster.
Yeah,
it's very, very half-assed. You don't, and I don't understand why they're nickel and dime.
And here's another. I'm going to give them a little bit of kind of credit or leeway here.
Okay.
This may be a change in organizational philosophy similar to what you see in Chicago with the Cubs.
Okay.
Chris Bryant plays 3 different spots routinely. Plays first base, plays third base, plays a little right field. This may be just, you know what, we're going to work on right field right now. We'll do first base in spring training. And Nick Castellanos may play those 3 spots on a regular basis.
I hope so.
That may be the case. I doubt it. I really, really doubt it.
Because
nothing else here is indicated that, if that was the case, you'd be seeing Candelario play some first. You'd be seeing, first off, Alex Presley and Andrew Romine would no longer be on the roster, and you'd be playing some kids in the corner outfield.
Mm-hmm.
God, that drives me up a wall. But, you'd see moves like that. But you haven't seen that.
And you probably wouldn't see Victor Martinez in this.
And you know what? At least to kind of their credit, they're trying to figure out what they have at the high minors, C-level prospects when it comes to pitchers.
Mm-hmm.
They're rolling with Artie Luecki. They're rolling with Buck Farmer. They're rolling with Matt Boyd, and we're just going to figure out what we have here. And you know what? We're probably going to get pounded a lot this last month, but so what?
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to figure out what we have.
Yep.
Jeff Farrell's going to pitch the 7th. We're going to figure out what we have. We're going to run Drew Verhagen out there in high leverage spots. We're going to figure out what we have in him. If he's a turd, All right, won't be part of the organization next year.
Oh, yeah, nice triple play, too, by Candelario the other day.
Oh, yeah, good play.
Way to start it.
So, quick diversion and this isn't on the show sheet. What do you do with Ian Kinsler? He's gonna you have a $5 million obligation regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Not unless, of course, you trade him though.
And he's probably going to end up making $11 million next year because he's probably going to reach 600 at bats unless they take him out.
He might not. That's not a for sure thing, but it'll be damn close.
I think he will.
Okay.
I think he will. I'm just going to say he is.
600 plate appearances, not at bats, right?
Plate appearance. Yes, plate appearance. I'm sorry. I think he will.
But he's playing every day and not being taken out at all.
But you know what, though, Dorf, it doesn't make a difference because we're talking about $10 and $11 million. We're talking $1 million here. The difference. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter.
We're not saying he's not worth either number. He's going to be worth in just wins above replacement either number.
Mm-hmm. I think you know what.
But he's not going to be still a part of this team when your team is ready to be good again.
No, he's not. However, I'm okay if they end up holding on to him, and I'll tell you why. Because at $11 million, probably, that's not that much.
Still a very tradable commodity.
He may be more valuable to the Tigers.
As to pick that up and then use him as trade bait?
Exactly. Than letting him walk in the offseason. You can go
the $5 million go away?
Yes, you could go and you could get another good prospect.
I bet you could get a similar haul for him than what you got for Avila and Justin Wilson.
Very well could. You very well could. And you know what? I think it's worth carrying the extra $5 or $6 million and rolling with that. Yeah, yes, I would like to see Dixon Machado play a little bit more. But,
we're at it. Do you non-tender Jose Iglesias?
No, because I think he could be another trade bait piece too.
He's a shortstop, an all-glove shortstop with a career OPS of 680.
I know. I hold on to it though.
Okay. Who's going to make about $7 million?
I'm not concerned. I'm not concerned about.
I'm not worried about the Tigers affording him. I'm worried about you're not going to get any. If you're trying to hold on to him as a, sign and trade asset, you're not going to get anything for him. It costs too much money and doesn't do anything for him.
No, I'm okay because you know what? They still need to put.
Still got to put a baseball team on the field.
They still got to put a baseball team on the field, a somewhat competitive baseball team out on the field next year.
Okay.
And what was I going to say? Where was I going with this?
He may be one of your attractions, and that's the reason you hold on to him.
No,
you have no commitment to him after this year. And
Exactly. It's not. And one other thing too. I remember where I was going with this. I see some other people saying, you know what, talking about saving money. I don't care what kind of money they save. I really don't.
Because and here's the other thing about saving. Cutting payroll so you can reallocate it. I'm not so certain that money will be reinvested.
No, because you know what they should do, and I don't think you're necessarily wrong in that door. Exactly, sell the team. If that's the last resort. If you're not going to do this, if you're not going to reallocate those funds,
you know what, you're in the 12th biggest media market that has baseball. Spend like the 12th biggest media market.
Exactly.
You've been spending as the 5th or 6th for the last 7 or 8 years.
Exactly.
Okay, so you know what that puts you at about current year. 180 instead of 200. 180 million. So you've right-sized it $20 million by $40 million by no more Justin Upton, no more Justin Verlander.
And why do you need to save this money?
You don't.
I don't understand why this money needs to be saved.
And here's the deal. I wouldn't expect it to be reinvested next year. I bet you the Tigers are entirely silent on the major free agent market this offseason.
It could be.
And that's good. Because you ain't going to be any good next year anyway. Don't blow your load. And you're not going to get guys to come here without incredibly overpaying them for what the value they're worth. You're going to have to spend $110 million on a guy that what turns out to be what you got in Jordan Zimmerman. Not the guy you should have gotten in Jordan Zimmerman, but the guy you actually got.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to spend money like that. And guess what? You don't want to make those long-term commitments to guys that suck. Because you don't want him. You're not going to want him on the team still when you're good again. And here's another honest conversation that you need to have this offseason. It may be cutting Jordan Zimmerman a check. The guy's done. Here's the other thing. I don't think he's been healthy since May of last year.
They're not going to do it. If they can't do it to Victor Martinez, they're not going to do it to Jordan Zimmerman.
Yeah.
Which is sad.
If they're smart, they the money spent, do it with both of them. Hi, guys. Here's $100 million, or what is it? It'd be about $70 million combined. Here you go. Bye.
So it's such a... we're talking Major League Baseball, too. It's such a fortunate league where it's not capped out in any sense. There's no soft cap. There's no hard cap.
You're not fucked when it comes to the salary cap.
No.
Money spent anyway.
Don't you think Ken Holland would love to be able to write a check to make some of those guys go away?
Yeah, Darren Helm. Let's see. Let's go down our list here. Darren Helm, Luke Glendening. I know you don't agree with this, but Justin Abdelkader. Pick a defenseman Jonathan Erickson.
Nicholas Cronwall.
De Kaiser.
No, De Kaiser is fine. Young player. He's fine. I don't like the contract, but you can't cut a guy like that.
Yeah, fine. Okay.
Don't you think Ken Holland...
And then we wouldn't have to worry about Andreas Athanasiou flirting with the KHL! Woo!
Wouldn't Ken Holland love to be in an Al Avila spot right now and be able to...
He could spend his way out of his stupidity.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Although I don't know if that would be the case, because I don't know if Chris Ilitch would want to
run a deficit.
Yeah. God, that guy, I have a feeling that Chris Ilitch is going to be the next fucking Tom Monahan in this town, and just give fans heart attacks.
So what is his stake? Because I know Mike Ilitch made all his money and had millions in the bank for Little Caesars.
Mm-hmm.
What is Chris's stake in other than the teams? Does he own anything else? Or is this his only source of income? Those two teams.
I don't think so. It's.
Well, I'm sure he has some investments.
I'm sure he has some investments, but he's the head of Village Holdings now, which is still.
All right.
Motor City.
Sell the team.
Yeah, Motor City Casino, Red Wings, Tigers, Little Caesars, Fox Theater, Olympia Entertainment. It's all that property in Detroit still.
All the parking.
Parking, yeah. It's just... I'm pretty sure that still, when you park in some of the lots for Lions games, it's still...
Olympia.
Still, yeah, you still see Olympia on some of those parking tickets that you get. Or stubs. So, who knows how much money they're
I'm not ready to start leading the protest on...
Down Woodward. Calling for Chris
Ilitch to sell the team.
You know what? I hate calling for any owner to sell a team because it's...
Hey, person, you've justly acquired this business. You should get rid of it.
Yeah,
probably at a loss.
Yeah, I hate doing that, but...
for less than maximum value.
Let's say I hate doing it on somebody... take, for instance, the Lions. I know everybody's always getting on Martha Ford and the Fords to sell the team, but the thing with the Lions, though, is they've always spent money. They've always spent money on the team.
They just had incompetent personnel people.
They just been spending the money on the wrong people.
Entirely incompetent personnel people.
Yeah, when you're an owner and you stop spending money, when you stop investing in the team, if you become like a Jeffrey Loria, I know that's the far end of the spectrum here.
Now, though.
He is gone. I know. That's when I'm going to start calling for ownership to sell the team, because you never own a team to make money. First,
it's your play toy.
Yes, it's
your $2 billion play toy.
Yes, it's your.
Hey, your friends have yachts. I have a sports team.
Exactly. It's your one of your big bragging points inside your country club. That's what it is. Nobody.
You're just a peasant. You just own 4 businesses. I have a professional sports team.
Unless you're Jerry Jones with the Dallas Cowboys, or you're the Steinbrenners with the Yankees, or you're the owner of the Manchester United, you're not.
He's the same guy who actually owns the Atlanta Falcons, by the way.
Buccaneers.
Oh, it's the Buccaneers.
Yes.
Arthur Blank. Never mind. You're right. The guy who owns the Bucks.
Yep. But Arthur Blank makes all his money on like Home Depot, probably.
And then the guy who owns the Browns, for example, Jimmy Haslam, owns all those pretty much every truck stop in the country.
Yeah. So again, I mean, unless you're those three guys, Manchester United, Dallas Cowboys, New York Yankees, you're not making money off of your sports teams generally. You may have a good year here and there.
Yeah,
but
you make $10-12 million.
But I'm pretty sure you could probably take a lot of these teams and overall put them at a loss. I know you're with their business stuff. You know more with their business stuff than I do, Dorf. But I'm pretty sure that if you look at if you open up the books, you're going to see a working
all these
loss.
sports teams. Most of them don't make money independently.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them don't.
Mm-hmm.
Revenue sharing is what makes everybody a little bit of money.
Which, if you're an NFL
if the Dallas
owner,
Cowboys didn't have to share revenue, they would make probably $100 million a year. If the New England Patriots didn't have to share revenue, they'd probably make $100 million a year.
NFL, bunch of commie bastards.
If the Jacksonville Jaguars didn't get a revenue sharing check, they'd probably lose $50 or $60 million a year.
I know commie.
Because there's so many. The only reason that's allowed, revenue sharing is allowed, is because you know what, everybody has the same minimum expectations.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're going to spend this much on your players. You know, you have to have world-class facilities like everybody else. You're going to spend this much on a coach and and you got to do that all regardless of the amount of people watch you on TV and show up to watch you in person. Because that's just part of doing business in this league, and we'll make sure everybody makes some money by revenue sharing.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with baseball. Most of those teams wouldn't make money. There's two divisions that make money in baseball: NL Central, AL East.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else is net even or loss.
Yep.
But those two divisions make shit tons of money, and everybody gets a little bit of it, and everybody's happy.
Yep. Anyway, should we move on here? Do Michigan State,
absolutely,
and then real quick, and then talk about your time.
Yeah,
at Little Caesars before we sign
yes, absolutely. Well, yeah, let's put that last. Let's do Michigan State next. What do you want to do first?
Let's start with the first game, Michigan.
Wolverines.
Yep, Michigan Wolverines.
We haven't been on since they've started it all, so we have to fresh reactions for the first 2 weeks.
Yes. Let's see here. Michigan defense may
all world.
Yep, defense may very well put them in the college football playoff, and when that happens, all bets are off. I think that their defense has, for the most part, won them their first two games.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think you can. I'm going to pull up their aggregate statistics.
My big concern right now is Wilton Speight.
Speight is not good.
Speight, whatever.
Speight. SP and the number 8.
He right now, he isn't rallying this offense. He's not a guy that you're going to look to. He's not going to be what.
Ty Isaac looks really good.
But Wilton Speight, he just looks very average out there. Looks very shaky. I thought the Michigan offense looked very, very shaky in the first half. Other than that, I think that their defense is going to continue to be dominating throughout the rest of the season. Obviously. The defense is real. They have a lot of very good playmakers on defense. All the concern right now lies with that offense, with the quarterback not being able to rally, not being able to make his plays, not being able to find open receivers on the first, second, or third look. I think that it's still early now, obviously, and they could go and make adjustments, obviously, throughout the rest of the season. They do have options. I know that Dorf was one of the ones saying that
Brandon Peters will be. I still maintain this. I said that in the preseason. Brandon Peters will be starting QB before the end of the year.
Yep, and I don't know. I think that I think the defense is something that is going to be able to give the offense a little bit more time to find its groove and find its direction this season. But that's my feeling, though. After the first 2 weeks, defense is unbelievable.
Yeah. Getting to the quarterback with regularity. I mean, that's even with, the defensive line is combined for a sack and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Linebackers and, whatever you want to call the Jabril Peppers position. I call it a safety, but the Viper linebacker.
Stupid.
That guy, his replacement, Kahili Hudson, got 3.5.
It's good.
3.5 sacks. Devin Bush also has 3.5.
Devin Bush.
Sorry, 2.5. Sorry, 3
Devin,
sacks for Hudson.
Bush looks really good. Sean Gary looks really good.
They've recovered 3 fumbles. They picked off a couple passes. I mean, they're taking one of them back to the house.
Defense is elite. It's college football elite.
Absolutely.
That's what it is. Did you have any thoughts on Michigan at all?
They could just essentially kind of let's go the Stanford route. This sends Andrew Luck. We're not going to put the ball in the air because we don't have to. We're going to play damn good defense and just run the ball and play really boring short games and win 10 of them. And they could win 10 or 11 games.
Mm-hmm.
After what I saw this week from Ohio State against Oklahoma, I'm pretty sure if you might, playing like you have these first 2 weeks might be enough against them. They're not good either.
Ohio State?
Oh, no. They're not good. They're in trouble.
They had a lot of turnover, too, in this offseason.
Well, at the same time, they put what? Like 7 first-round picks in the last 2 years?
Yeah.
Like 12 guys? Like 15 or 16 guys in the last 2 drafts?
Look, Ohio State is still Ohio State. Yeah. They still have Urban Meyer. They're still going to be a formidable team that you can't look past.
Absolutely.
But as far as those other Ohio State teams that we've seen before where they're just dominating and rolling over teams, I think we've seen so far these first 2 weeks, even though they did pull away and they did end up beating Indiana by multiple scores. It was close for a while in that first week, though. I don't think this is the same Ohio State team, and I said it, in our week to week predictions that Michigan is going to beat Ohio State because it is in Ann Arbor. If it was in Ohio State, then I thought there might be some
different
storyline for it, but Michigan State though. Do you want me to?
Go ahead, you first. I don't have anything. My mama taught me that if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Okay, defense looks good.
Yeah, they do.
Defense looks good. They're not really good. They're not Michigan elite or anything like that.
They're not the Michigan State of old.
But they're not going to hurt you.
Yep.
They'll
be an above-average Big Ten defense.
Yep. And you know what? They may be able to hide some of the inadequacies on offense.
Yeah.
Some, not all.
Yep.
The offense, though, on the other hand, I thought LJ Scott had a nice bounce back game from last week. Lorky is very, very good on his feet, but you know
Skittish.
what? Yeah, but you know what? That may end up being a detriment to him in some aspect.
He's going to get killed.
Yes, going forward
against good defenses.
Yep.
He's going to get killed.
He's going to get killed. He may, obviously, he may be hurt. He's going to fumble the ball a couple of times because of the way he runs. He did it last week against Western Michigan.
He actually lost the fumble in week 1 as well.
Yep. And, offense, obviously, like Michigan, is probably going to be the detriment to that team.
Yep, absolutely.
That's basically it, though. What do you think?
They're a little bit better at defensive back than I thought. I was not confident in their ability out wide at corner. Thought their safeties were going to be college good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they have a pro safety on the roster currently.
Mm-hmm.
But they'd be college good. I'm worried about their depth at linebacker. We already saw an injury this past week to their starting middle linebacker in Joe Bacci. He does not look good coming back, and they're dead thin other than that. Their defensive end play is pathetic. It's good enough to stop the run adequately, but they're going to have to bring 6 to get pressure.
Mm-hmm.
They just are, and that's not a recipe for long-term success to have to bring 6 every time.
I thought that they handled what I think was a pretty good Western Michigan, the team at home.
Western's not bad.
Western's not bad.
They'll win the MAC again.
Yep, they're better than the 0-2.
That's if the Flying Eagles of Eastern Michigan don't choose.
Hold that thought. Western Michigan, though, is better than the 0-2 record that they have.
Absolutely. Come on, you went out to USC and lost. You were in that game in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
And then you lost by 2 scores in East Lansing.
Yes. There's no shame in that.
No shame in either of those. Now they'll probably rattle off like 9 of 10 and go 9-3 and play a New Year's Eve.
Eastern Michigan now.
Bowl game.
Eastern Michigan. Who's the head coach again?
Chris Creighton.
Chris Creighton, getting things done, man.
Yep.
I mean, I know it was only against Rutgers, but that was their first.
By the way, that is the first Big Ten team who's been favored by less than a touchdown against a MAC opponent in like 40 years.
And the first time that Eastern Michigan has ever beaten a Big Ten opponent.
Absolutely. Yep.
Ever.
Yep.
Ever.
Which is not a surprise because A, they don't play them often, and B, well, they made their first bowl game in 28 years last year.
Eastern's been horrible for a long time, but you know what? It didn't seem like anybody wanted to win that game. They're showing it. Ain't that
the truth?
They're showing on the Big Ten Network the amount of mistakes and just stupid penalties some of these guys were taking, and just some of the awful plays that were being committed. Like I said, it didn't seem like anybody wanted to win that game. And you know what? I had no idea that Jerry Kill was the offensive coordinator at Rutgers.
Yep.
No idea. I that totally went over my head. But you got to hand it.
Well, you didn't hear what happened. This is before the PJ Fleck hiring. I essentially said, I want to get back into coaching. And they're like, no, you're going to stay here in the athletic department. He's like, fuck you guys, I'm out.
But, again, it's building blocks here. I thought Eastern Michigan, going on the road to Rutgers, even though it is Rutgers, it's still a Big Ten opponent. They go out, they win.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all you can ask for. I thought that was a good showing by Eastern to come out on top in that one. Close game, coming out on top. Hopefully it gives Eastern something to work off of here. So.
Yes, sir.
In Central Michigan, didn't they just annihilate Kansas?
Yeah.
I think they did.
They were up like 35-6 last I saw. I didn't see the final score. But it wasn't close. So
how about that Little Caesars Arena, Dorf? I'm excited. I want to hear about it. And what did you think?
It's beautiful.
I figured.
And you know what? I don't, this is just somebody else talking. This wasn't by any means official information.
Wait, were you on one of those tours? Did somebody have like a little microphone? And
it wasn't a tour. They were essentially just letting people in, a couple thousand an hour.
Mm-hmm.
They just asked you to leave after an hour. They didn't make you, though. They didn't clear everybody. Where you just could wander around about 2/3 of the main level and the upper level.
Mm-hmm.
The bottom level was closed because I think the Wings development team or whatever.
Was practicing.
And apparently you can see the practice ice when you go down there, and they didn't want them to be disturbed.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's beautiful.
Did you get to see the ice though, the main ice?
Yes, you did get to walk out a little bit into the stands. You didn't get to go down in the seats. But I'll tell you what they did. This is what I was getting into. This is just this isn't official information, but this is just what somebody was saying when I was standing by and looking out onto the ice. They asked some of the players about what are the features of the most intimidating place to play, and where are they, and what are the features that make them scary to play there, and and they took them into consideration. Those stands are very, very steep.
Are they?
You're not going to have to worry in the lower bowl that the guy is standing in front of you, so you have to stand. You're still going to be able to see over them sitting down.
So you're on top of the ice.
You're on top. It's like 55 fucking degrees down.
Really?
Oh my god! It's straight. It's almost straight down.
Okay, I have a fear of heights. Am I going to be scared?
No, you actually have steps that are big enough, unlike the Joe, and the seats aren't crammed right next to each other, so you can spread out a little bit, and there's adequate leg room. It's amazing.
How was the concourse with the
plenty of room
with that sky with the glass?
It's really cool.
Is it cool?
What I'm going to think is once it gets going, I think they're going to struggle to keep it clean. Because how are you going to clean a glass roof like that, realistically? So it'll kind of get dirty and kind of lose its luster. But right now it's amazing. Mm-hmm. The office space around the perimeter, up above, isn't done yet. They were actively working on that while we were there.
Oh, really?
While people were there, they were in there. The bones of it is done, but all the stuff on the inside wasn't done yet. And Aaron Rodgers just threw a pick, by the way.
I don't think I lose points anyway, though.
Oh,
whatever.
You don't? No. Okay. All right, you don't care.
I'm not happy about it.
Yeah. Anyway, just
2 picks in one game, too, for him. That's
scary, because he had, what, 10 or 12 weeks last year with that one? Yeah. The last 10 or 12 weeks?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you have the thing
beautiful.
Is, I figured
there's a shit ton of room.
How's parking? Where'd you guys park?
Did you guys park in the garage? A little bit of we didn't park in the garage.
No.
We parked in one of the District Detroit surface lots.
Mm-hmm.
about a block and a half away, across from the Masonic Temple, main entrance to the Masonic Temple. There's about probably a 150 lot.
Okay, so you're kind of
there.
So you're kind of over in the Cass Corridor area, old Cass Corridor area.
Really wasn't that far. No, we weren't that far over. Actually, technically, yeah, I guess it would be the Cass Corridor because it was at Cass and Temple is what the lot was. It's all right.
How is the area around the stadium?
Still very much under construction.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Nothing is done around it.
So they're just basically saying, okay, let's get the building done first.
The building could host an event today. It could host an event, but all like the office around, they had all the concessions open, so you could try it out. They've got some decent offerings there. Prices are ridiculous as always because it's a stadium. $11 for a fucking draft beer, Jesus! A craft draft, which is it's like Bell's Oberon. It's like Oberon is good, man, but I can get a 6-pack for $10 at home.
So you aren't doing one of these? Let's see what kind of crafts you have here.
Didn't see anybody protesting Kid Rock's restaurant.
No,
although it looks really nice inside.
Does it?
Yes.
I'm not fucking going to that. Fuck that douchebag.
I doubt they have anything for your appetite sensibilities anyway.
Whatever.
Because this is
This is America.
This is America. This is red meat, beer, domestic beers and chewing tobacco.
I'm sure Sean will like it though.
Yeah, that's right up Sean's alley. But I mean, the concourse, there's plenty of room. There's multiple exits. You don't have to walk down a bunch of stairs once you get out to get back down the street level, which will help easing exit traffic.
Yeah.
There's escalators all over to get up to the up top.
Bathrooms
aplenty.
Good, because I think there's like 2 in the Joe.
Yeah, bathrooms aplenty. It'll be all right.
Did you see any suites? Did you get to go in any?
I did not get to go in any of them, but that's the other thing. Suites are like main floor entry. Some of them are.
Yeah.
So
what actually was
cool.
You know who was one of the first stadiums to get that started?
Who's that?
Like the main level suites.
The United Center?
Palace.
Yeah.
Palace is one of the first buildings to get on that train. And you know what? The thing is, you haven't heard a lot of stuff with the Pistons in the new building because I'm hearing that the Pistons locker room isn't done yet.
It might not be. And that's the other thing. Everything is red. Everything is red.
Well, red's part of the Pistons color scheme.
It's a very minor secondary color.
Red?
Yeah.
No, red could be a main color with them. It has in the past.
Okay. Well, everything.
Well, keep in mind too that this was a Red Wing stadium first.
Oh yeah, it was. It was a hey. Can we move in too?
Yeah, that's. I mean,
you want to pay us several $1 million a year to rent it? Okay.
And it's a shared color between the two teams. You can't go and put blue in the seats.
All the wall art and everything it's all Red Wings. There's no Piston shit in there. There's hardly there's the hanging banners all over. There's some Pistons players on them, but there's a bunch of wall graphics and wall art. There's a bunch of auto parts turned into a winged wheel.
Well, I mean
there ain't none of that for the Pistons.
Well, I mean the Red Wings are more of a storied franchise than the Pistons are.
Yeah. But it looks like everything was done. It's like, oh shit, we got to put some Piston shit in here. Suppose we can take that one down. Let's put some up over there.
Hey, let's take down that picture of Rick Zombo and get a picture up of Vinnie Johnson.
Yeah. So there's that, but it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see a game in there. I don't care if it's a Red Wing game or a Piston game.
Yeah, we need to go to a game.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be looking forward.
I think I pretty much, and I don't care decided yesterday. I went yesterday. Then I'm going to at least see one of each this year.
Yeah,
I'm going to find a way to go to one of each.
I don't care how shitty the Red Wings are going to.
They're both going to be bad.
Pistons are probably going to be
slightly better
than the Red Wings, but. Yeah, I can't wait. I mean, based on all the pictures that I've seen, one of my favorite things that they did there, and it's very, very subtle, was putting up the old Olympia.
The Olympia sign up there.
The Olympia sign. Cool too. That's awesome. I'm glad that's an awesome.
Yep, I saw that was cool.
I thought it was a little weird. They put the legends on those manhole covers.
Yeah, I stepped on them and didn't like. Oh, well, that ground felt weird, and I looked behind it. I was like, "Oh, hey.
A little weird considering putting." I thought that was a little weird considering putting legends of the Red Wings and the Pistons.
I don't think they're actually functional manhole covers.
No.
I think they're just there.
Yeah, but
because like their placement is incredibly random.
Manhole covers are usually put there to cover sewers, and I don't know. That's a weird. it's kind of a weird, I don't know, metaphoric type.
You're shitty.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the one thing they have, like the sponsor bricks outside of stadiums. Like if you donate $1,000 towards building something,
you get a brick. You're naming the brick.
Yeah, you're naming the brick. I mean, I could see doing something like that, but I think that was kind of the idea with the manhole cover. But, they're cool looking. It's kind of like it's a manhole cover.
Yeah.
But
that's cool.
Oh yeah, the Little Caesars usual, the $5 hot and sweaty.
Yeah.
$15.50.
$15.50.
$15.50.
Wow. Damn.
$15.50. You get a quarter pizza, so the big slice or whatever, instead of cutting it in 8.
Is that $5?
$4. Holy shit! For the hot and sweaty.
Oh God. Whatever.
But it's the flat rate price for the cheese, the pepperoni, or the 3-meat treat. Ain't no vegetables for you.
Wait, how much is...
No, that's what they all are.
I can't just get a cheese?
You can't get a cheese.
How much is that?
The same.
See, one of the benefits of being vegetarian is you usually don't have to pay as much as you...
Your pizza toppings are cheaper.
As you animal killers, but... Damn.
You just jelly.
Whatever. I like I said, I just want to go see it. I usually don't eat at games anyway.
Yeah, it's usually a pretty good good practice for your wallet.
Yeah.
No, it was beautiful.
Yep, can't wait.
Really nice.
Anything else tonight?
Yeah, Fly Eagles Fly. 2-0. 2-0.
Eastern Michigan. Are we done yet? So do I start the music? Do you want me to start the music now?
No, you can.
Okay.
Fly Eagles Fly.
Hold on, give me a second.
I'm just amazed. They only need 4 more wins. They only need to win 4 of their next 10 to be bowl eligible.
They're going to do it, man.
Actually, they're off this week. They have a bye week. Michigan State does as well.
Michigan State has a bye week this week as well.
Who does Michigan play this week?
Who does Michigan play this week? I just looked.
Isn't their non-conference cupcake? Or they start the conference season already?
No, I don't think they start the conference. Give me 1 second here.
This goober's wearing a Mets hat. What a loser.
Air Force.
Oh, the Chair Force.
This should be a decent game.
Hopefully everybody survives with their kneecaps still intact.
Hey, it's a service school. You got to be nice to them.
Yeah, you do. Doesn't mean you have to like them cutting your fucking defensive lineman every goddamn play. All right, that is going to wrap up episode 148 of Motor City Uncut, presented by the Major Sports Network Detroit. Join us next week. Actually, are we going to be on next week as of the 300th episode especial?
Yes.
Futures Live will still be on next week. So, same time, same place. Each and every Sunday night at 6. We'll see you guys next week.